What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. So I want to talk about how to set boundaries with a narcissist after a breakup. And it is very important to set these boundaries with a narc for your own sanity and peace of mind, because if not, the narcissist will still, have a hold of you. Because after a breakup, you may go through some things with the narcissist because, first of all, they can't handle the fact that you're discarding them. But you may not be able to go no contact due to, a certain living situation. Like if y'all shared a lease, you live together and you shared a lease and you don't want to break the lease. Now, narcissists, they may do some very dirty things to hurt you because you got out of the relationship. They may try to not help you that month with the portion of the rent, if they have been helping you at all, because we know that a lot of narcissists are bums. They are very irresponsible. They spend money on unnecessary things, and they put their top priorities, they put that on the back burner. They just feel like that they are entitled to be taken care of. They don't want responsibilities. They don't handle responsibilities well. They don't feel like that they should have responsibilities. And as long as you have let them, have their way, the more they're going to feel entitled to that type of treatment, especially in a romantic relationship. So like I say, after the breakup, you have to set these boundaries with the narcissist to let them know that even though we still share a lease, we don't have to communicate. The only thing, you should have to communicate maybe once. And make sure when you communicate with a narcissist that you always document the dialogue that takes place between you two, because if not, they can lie and make up things on you. So make sure that you keep your conversation strictly, written. If you're going to talk on the phone, record the conversation. Record it on another phone. Have another phone close by and record your conversation. Or if you're going to FaceTime, record your FaceTime. Text messages, keep your text messages. Emails, keep your emails. Any conversations you have with the narc, always document it and keep it. Narcissists have a way of trying to string you along as a way to punish you. Of course, even though you have broken up with them, in their crazy mind, they feel like if I don't answer the phone for them or reply to their text messages, even though you're just reaching out to them for something that needs to be talked about, pertaining to something you need, from your apartment, or something you need out of their car, or something like that. Other than that, you wouldn't even be reaching out to them. They will not respond to you. They will not answer the phone or reply to your text, any of that. A narcissist will go to the lengths of trying their best to keep you strung along by doing some of the most hideous things. Like, they will take the time out and sit down and write a 2-page letter, and the tone that they use in the letter, it just is, the main focus is to devalue you, dehumanize you, to punish you, to point out everything in you that they hated about you. But at the same time, they don't want to let you go. That's the craziest thing about the narc after a breakup. And again, I know this video is supposed to be on boundaries, but this is what I want to point out really quick on things to look out for when you break up with a narcissist, because they are going to play mind games with you, because they don't want to let go. They don't want to lose the game. They feel like that they're losing if you were the one to break up with them. And so as long as y'all have something that is keeping y'all together, not like keeping you together, but it's something in between that causes y'all to still have to communicate, oh, they're going to use that to the best of their advantage, and they're going to string it along. They're going to do it. And they're not going to just give you an easy breakup. They're not going to give you closure. They're not going to give you peace of mind because they don't want it. They want control. And again, they're not going to, it's like they don't want to communicate, but they don't want to leave you alone. So they will do things to kind of like leave clues behind so that you can follow behind them, which will make it seem like you're running behind them. Mind you, even though you broke it off with them, trust me, they are telling other people that they broke it off with you because they have to try to put this image out of you being a bad person, someone who they just could not take it anymore. And they have to make it look like that you're the one running behind them and you don't want to let it go. And they just want closure. And they don't want to communicate. When it's really, it's not even like that. So the narc will write a 2-page letter. And they will leave it in places where they know you have to be so that you can read it. But they still don't want to give you that closure. Because they feel like that you're wrong for not wanting to be with them anymore. And that's their way of punishing you. And they'll hold on to things that belong to you so that you can keep reaching out to them like, can you please give me my whatever it is, personal belonging back? Could you please give me that, please give me my key. I need my key to my storage. Why did you take my key? They will do things like that. And they will come up with excuses like, I don't have it. Or when I get back to town, I'll give it to you. Or something like that. I don't have the time. And they will do this to keep stringing you along. That's the type of mind games they play. And you being the person that you are, you're trying to be patient. But you still don't really know that you're dealing with a narcissist. You have to, look at this person as being unstable. Like they're not thinking with a normal brain. Because if they were, they wouldn't even be taking things that belong to you just to keep you strung along. So when you set the boundaries, you have to make sure before you break up with anyone, you have already separated all of your personal belongings, especially things like keys, a lease agreement. I mean, even though you can go and get another copy of a lease from the office at the apartments where y'all live, you can get that. If you want to move away from the narcissist and maybe move back home, be open, hopefully a person can, don't have to struggle and it doesn't become too overwhelming for them as far as moving away from the narc right away. But if you can move back home with a parent or with a relative or somebody, or if you can, just go stay somewhere, if you got money to stay at a hotel for a little while until the lease is up or until you can go and find you another apartment. I mean, it's sad that it has come to that because you'll be paying rent in 2 different places. But it all depends on the person's situation. But say, for instance, if you do move away until your lease is up and you have been sharing a portion of the rent, the narcissist is not going to pay their portion anymore. They will hurt themselves trying to hurt you. They use that as some type of punishment. Again, because you broke up with them. And so it's best that you go and talk to the leasing agent and let them know it may be kind of difficult for me, paying rent in the next few months. Just communicate. Communicate with your office manager because they may be able to work something out with you. Let them know you're dealing with the psycho and they don't want to leave you alone after the breakup. They're making it very difficult for you to, go your own separate ways because they don't want to let you go. And also, they don't want to pay their portion of the rent. So it leaves too much on you to take care of because, of course, the narcissist, they don't care about responsibilities. And if they can hurt you, trust me, they'll hit you where it hurts, and that's in your pockets. And so you'll be left having to pay their portion of the rent. And, they don't care. They don't have no remorse towards how it makes you feel or anything because Once you break up with the narc, it's not about how it makes you feel. It's all about them and their feelings, and they become very emotional. They already, emotional, like in an unstable way. But it's gonna get worse once you stop communicating with them the way they're used to it. Once you stop giving them everything they feel entitled to, it's gonna get worse. Because they, again, they're gonna try to do everything they can to make your life miserable. And so, again, document conversations. Make sure all of your things are separated. You make sure you have all of your stuff. Move everything away. Don't leave nothing. Don't leave not one sock behind. Because if you break up with a narcissist or any toxic individual, just anybody who is difficult to be with, you don't want to go back to them, because they're going to try to suck you back in. They're going to, they want to get an argument out you. They want to get a reaction out of you. And they're going to try to stick it to you and make you think that, you're just horrible. You're just a horrible person. And, of course, they're going to run their mouth and kind of pretty much tell on themselves and feel guilty. And all that's going to come from guilt. But, don't even receive that. Don't give it any time of day. Don't pay it any mind. Let them do what they're going to do. Just make sure that you set the boundaries and let them know. I will talk to you about anything pertaining the house or the apartment, or paying, your portion of the rent, or whatever, what you're going to do, or you're going to, whatever, dealing with your previous living conditions. Other than that, you don't owe them no time. You don't owe them no time of day. You don't have to talk to them. So don't let them make you think that, and I know that it's going to be a lot on you, especially if this has been a long-term relationship. Because obviously you really care for this person. You love this person. You were in a relationship. But you know that this was just something that just weren't right for you. That's the reason why you chose to break it off. Narcissists, they are very unfaithful. They move on very quickly. And all of this kind of stuff, it's going to hit you all at one time. And it's going to be too much to take on. It's going to be very overwhelming. So you're going to be in that state of mind to where, it's just going to be mind-boggling. Like, at the same time, you're hurt because this person betrayed you. They were not the person who you thought they were. So it is going to take time. You just got to give yourself time to move forward, and don't feel like you have to rush yourself to move forward. Give yourself time to heal. And within that time, don't let the narcissist make the schedule and, put a time frame on your healing process. And I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, because if you allow them to do that, they're going to come up with the time schedule on your life and when they're going to allow you to move forward, which will be never if you put that in their hands. So don't give them that much of power. Take your power back. Feel free to come and go as you please. But again, just beware of the narcissist mind games and the tricks that they will play to keep in contact with you, even when you don't want to talk to them. And they may even try to call your job. So make sure you have these conversations with your boss and let people know at work, if someone call here for me, just say, I no longer work here. Sometimes you just have to do stuff like that. You just have to protect yourself, because, if they're this type of person who, there's no limit to what they'll do, like come on your job and do stuff like that. Just make sure that there are cameras out around the job. Make sure there are cameras anywhere where you have to be. Make sure you're always in a in a space, in an open space where other people are around. Because some of those narcissists are crazy. They lose their mind. It's no telling what they'll do. They'll pass by and probably try to flatten your tires, bust your windshields and stuff like that, so just be careful. Scratch your car up, put something in your gas tank. Just be very, very careful and be very discreet. Be private and just don't let them know the moves you're going to make. And another thing, very, very last thing, be careful of the narc's social circle. Because if you are still in, communicating, associating with people who associate with the narc, you may bring up things to them that they're going to end up bringing up to the narcissist. So you want to be private. Don't even tell them things. You may even have to cut them off for a while until you can find that safe place to be, not having to deal with them anymore. So anyway, I hope that this video has been helpful to anyone. I know it's been kind of all over the place, but that's just something I've been wanting to talk about. Just make sure you set boundaries after you break up with the narcissist, because they're going to try to do the best they can to keep a hold on you and punish you and communicate with you. And when they communicate with you, the tone they use, it just sounds angry and vengeful. And it's like, you don't deserve that, because you haven't done anything wrong. So you owe it to yourself, for your own sanity and peace of mind, to set these boundaries. Because if you don't, they're going to just keep putting you through the ringer, of unnecessary drama, because you allow them to. And again, be mindful of the things that they do, because these people are unstable. They do some crazy things, so just be careful the way you communicate with them. Be safe in open areas. Be mindful of the things you say to other people who may be communicating with the narc, because it could be going back to them, and then they'll know every move you're going to make. And they all stalkers. That they stalk and they lurk you and they still watch you. They might be passing by your house a couple of times a day, so just be careful. And just give yourself some time to heal. Don't try to go back and forth with the narc. Don't fight them. Don't argue. Just quietly back away from the conversation and say, well, okay, this conversation is over. Don't say, because you're doing this and because you're giving them what they want when you do that. Just calmly say, look, this conversation is over, because I have things to do. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And then just hang up the phone or whatever. But make sure that conversation is recorded so that you can have proof that you are not the instigator or the intimidator or the stalker or whatever, or the harasser. Because, the narcissists, they're going to play all those games, but they're going to be telling other people that it's you who are doing all that. So again, I hope this video has been helpful to anyone. And as always, leave your comments down below. Share these videos. Please share these videos. And enjoy your weekend. I'll talk to y'all soon.